Okay, so listen, I've been there too. I was also on the end of the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Some of us answered that they want to be astronauts or, I don't know, garbage men. However, I answered that I want to be an engineer. I've got to tell you a story, however, of how I decided to follow humanitarian studies instead of going for engineering, even though I love tech a lot more. If you're someone that's struggling to pick a career that is for them or you don't know what you want to do in life, then you should definitely follow through with this video, since I will tell you what helped me pick this decision and why I decided to follow my heart. So, when I was little, I actually wanted to become an engineer. I was always fascinated with the complexity of math. However, as time passed, I noticed the fact that I'm not really that good at physics, and my teacher was not that good at explaining it. I was pretty good at mathematics and informatics, even going to an Olympiad in informatics. The thing is that as time passed, I started doing worse and worse in physics, which definitely killed my chances of getting into an engineering high school if I didn't want to actually take tutoring classes. As time passed, I slowly started also getting bored of informatics because it was just so repetitive, and I didn't really see myself doing informatics since it was basically standing at a desk for 24/7 and just using your brain to do the same stuff over and over again. And yes, I know some of you may say that informatics requires a lot of the brain to solve complex equations. However, I don't really think that I would have really gotten to that point. I would probably just be doing repetitive shit. I wouldn't really have that many opportunities in my country. In the background, meanwhile, I started actually enjoying to read and write, which definitely pushed my love for my native language, Romanian, a lot more. And this kind of influenced me to decide on picking humanitarian studies because it was something that I actually enjoyed and that I did with passion. The thing is that in my country, Romania, you do not really have to actually follow with your high school field. There is not a linear system. So if I, let's say, follow a high school in, I don't know, mathematics and informatics, then in university I can attend something in, I don't know, foreign languages. So there is no linear. I can just go to humanitarian studies and then switch to mathematics if I want to do that. I was born loving for history and I can call myself a history buff. However, I started to kind of ignore this passion and I started to ignore my heart in favor of going for something in engineering, which I didn't particularly like, and I started gaslighting myself into believing that I can still follow a mathematics and an engineering field, even though I actually started to kind of hate physics and chemistry since it was getting so complex and my teachers were not really that good at explaining it. Now that I'm following humanitarian studies, I can actually put my good history knowledge to use and do something that I actually enjoy, which is something that I definitely recommend to you all. Steve Jobs didn't become so successful because he was a top engineer or something. He dropped out of most classes in high school and only picked the ones that he liked, like calligraphy and engineering, which then led to him making Macintosh, which had their custom fonts and stuff. This is a lesson you definitely shouldn't ignore because doing what you want will actually make you do it with your heart and do it 100%. If you do stuff that you don't particularly like only for money, then you will find yourself burning out, which is not a good thing at all. Another benefit of humanitarian studies is that it improves my oratory skills, which helps me make better content creation for you guys, and it improves your experience when you're watching me. It also helps me build confidence in talking in front of the camera, which is something we should all be able to do, no matter what field we are following. Following humanitarian studies does have a bad side, however, because I will lack the extra support that I needed from mathematics and informatics for my tech knowledge, which means that I basically have to do all of my research all alone because the teacher that I have for informatics basically does nothing to us and he just lets us play on the computers. So I am all alone in this quest for knowledge. So far I can see that I have a lot of free time, which helps me improve myself and do stuff that I actually like, kind of like content creation. Other things that I have enough time for are going to the gym or working on better writing, stuff that I actually enjoy doing. Well, except for the gym part, however, we still have to do it. In conclusion, I believe that I did the right thing by sacrificing some tech knowledge in order to follow my heart and not be stuck doing the same repetitive tasks that I hate doing for the rest of my life. And now I'm able to help you guys pick whatever you like because I have the experience to talk in front of the camera and share my experiences with you all. I hope you liked today's insight. If you did, then make sure to subscribe since I will post more kind of these videos in which I share my experience. Have a good one.